President Biden is promising any help he can provide from the federal level to help the recovery efforts in South Florida.
FEMA is down there taking a look at what's needed, and including from everything from if the rest of those buildings have to be evacuated as well, finding housing for those people, making sure they have the capacity to both have a place to shelter and food to eat, etc. So that's underway.
Now, the president said he has been in contact with local officials and will provide more help as soon as it's requested. Former FEMA presidential appointee Mark Neveau joins us to walk us through what the rescue effort on the ground would look like. Mark, thank you so much for joining us. First, you have a collapse here of this residential building in the middle of the night. What's the first focus here?
Well, you saw it earlier, because of the timing, the assumption being that all of these units, all these apartments, those condominiums are occupied. They know they have 99 people that are unaccounted for. That doesn't necessarily mean they're in the building, but from their standpoint, they're assuming that they are somewhere in that rubble, and they're using all tools and techniques to find them. Hopefully there's enough voids as this building collapsed that they can find folks as they're digging. And it sounds like that operation is starting from the garage underneath the building. Andre?
Yeah, and based, Mark, on what you see here, is it possible to continue to view this as a search for survivors?
Yes, and what's interesting is contrary to historical, what we thought was that people could not survive more than 24 hours in a structural collapse like this. But we're finding from recent events, in particular Haiti and some of the others, is that people are actually able to exist longer. They're trapped and they cannot get out. So the hope is over the next 24, 48, 72 hours, they're going to use all tools and techniques. So you've got firefighters, urban search and rescue teams crawling on their belly in the garage trying to find tunnels, ways that they can get up to different floors. They're listening very closely for any discussion, rapping on pipes. They're using rescue dogs, anything they can to try and search that rubble.
And we know that people are gathering on the beach side where this is and on the roadside where this is to kind of just view what is happening here. How long do you think the search for survivors can continue before this really turns into a search and recovery effort?
Yeah, and that's going to be up to the incident commander, and I'm sure they're having discussions about that. How long do we go? And they're going to give it everything they've got. You've heard the president talk about signing an emergency order. What that allows is other urban search and rescue teams from other parts of the country to come help, not only because it's such an immense site, but because the firefighters are going to start getting very, very tired and stressed. This is a very dangerous operation, very stressful. So you're going to see the rescue component of this going on for the next 24, 48, 72 hours, or until they hear no more noise, no more rapping, they feel as comfortable as they can that they've got to transition over.
So I grew up not too far from where this is, a few minutes away. I went to school not too far from this, and I've driven past this building many times. It's been through many hurricanes, many tropical storms. So I was kind of surprised to hear that this older building had indeed possibly collapsed, or we don't really know why it collapsed just yet. But in terms of how bad this is, where does this rank in terms of disasters to you?
Well, in terms of overall presidential disaster declarations, we're talking about 136 units. Half of those are involved, so you're probably talking about 60 to 70 units and families. So the numbers, it sounds like it's going in the right direction. For instance, they've got 99 people missing, but they've recovered 102. They rescued 37. And only one person has perished. So that's good news. The hope is that the 99 that they're searching for, maybe they were out somewhere else, maybe they weren't home, fingers crossed. But this is certainly a very taxing event. It's going to be a long event. It's going to take months to years if we're talking about the investigation and the rescue operation.
Many people watching this in awe just to see that building collapse into rubble, and capturing it on video was just incredible. Mark Neveau, thank you so much for providing your insight into the search and recovery of this tragic site.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thoughts with.
Sure.